Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Hey, listen, once again, you guys can follow me on YouTube by searching Troy Ramel Royal. Troy, Troy, Ramel, Ramel, Royal, Royal. I have a lot of videos there. Please follow me, subscribe to me. I appreciate it. First of all, I appreciate you guys tuning in with me all the time. Listen, happy Friday. It is kickoff to NBA All-Star Weekend. Probably the best All-Star Weekend or All-Star of any professional sport. Better than the Pro Bowl, better than the baseball. Although baseball's home run derby is becoming a little bit exciting. But better than hockey. For the NBA players, it's like Super Bowl weekend. it really is. You get some of the former players come out and some of the legends, and I think the celebrities gravitate towards the celebrity game a little bit more so than they do in the baseball game. So it's a good time for the NBA family. It really is. I'm going to talk a little bit about a few things. First of all, I don't like the voting process of the All-Star Weekend anymore. I think that allowing the players to have a say in it shows favoritism to the teammates and friends. I don't like that. I think it should be strictly to the fans. And also, I think that we should bring back the center. The center, it hasn't been relevant in past years, but the big man is coming back. The fact that Joel Embiid is not on the All-Star roster this year is ludicrous to me. Clearly, he was the best center in the Eastern Conference, and the fact that DeMarcus Cousins cannot be the starting center or be part of the starting center, a starting five in West, it's a little crazy to me. Also, I think they need to bring back the center, stop going with the front court and back court or wing players or whatever it might be. I really think it's time to bring the center back. Going into the All-Star Week, I want to talk about a couple of things, such as NBA surprise team, NBA biggest disappointment, MVP, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man, and Most Improved Player, Coach of the Year at this time right now. It's funny, the All-Star break usually represents the midpoint of baseball and hockey. With basketball, it doesn't quite represent the midpoint, but midpoint will be somewhere around the NFL football playoff races, and you don't want to kind of disturb that. So I guess that's why they do it in February. So it's slightly after. It's about maybe almost close to 2/3 of the season already done. At least, yeah, close to 2/3, if not nearly 60% of the season is gone. But nevertheless, if the season was to end right now, and I'm going to give you my selection. Clearly, the NBA surprising team to me are the Washington Wizards. I never expected the Washington Wizards to sit in third in the Eastern Conference going into the season. I'm a fan of Scott Brooks, and I think he's a very good coach. But there was that chatter about Wall and Bill not liking each other, to the point where Wall showed up to a Washington Redskins game against Dallas and had on a Dallas uniform, and people thought a Dallas jersey, and people thought that maybe he was making a statement that he wanted to be traded and possibly headed out to Dallas. So there was a lot of things going on before the season started that I thought that it would take time for Washington to come together under Scott Brooks. I didn't think it would be this year. And in fact, I thought that John Wall might have been a trade candidate around about this time towards the deadline. But it looks like they've got together over there, and looks like everything is okay. They're playing great ball. They get contribution from everybody. Gortat is playing decent. Morris is playing well. Otto Porter's having a sensational season. Bradley Beal, some people thought he should have been chosen as the replacement for Kevin Love opposed to Carmelo because he's having one of those seasons. John Wall is an all-star. The bench is performing admirably, and Scott Brooks is doing a great job. Washington, for me, has to be the most surprising team of the year thus far, with the Houston Rockets coming in as a close second. The most disappointing team in the league, and this is probably no one near or close to it. And for me, that's got to be my New York Knicks. It is the most disappointing team out there. On paper, they have enough talent to compete in the East, at least be an eighth seed. But I thought they would finish sixth or higher. I really thought they had enough talent. Carmelo had made some comments before the season. It's going to be great to be at the Garden, blah, blah, blah. And the Knicks have been making headlines for the wrong reasons as well. On and off the court, the Knicks have been the most disappointing team of the season. You have the Phil and Carmelo drama where Phil is tweeting. He's trying to force Carmelo out. He's going to the media. He's got his buddies going to the media. It just goes on and on. Derrick Rose is AWOL. No repercussions. No discipline or anything like that. Signing Noah has been just horrible. I mean, the list goes on. The latest fiasco, Charles Oakley getting arrested at the Garden, James Dolan and Charles Oakley having to sit down with the commissioner, with Michael Jordan on the phone to try to mend things. It's just been one thing after another for the New York Knicks. They are clearly the most disappointing team in the NBA this season. And then reports come out less than 72 hours that they're worth for $3.3 billion and they're the number one NBA franchise. Go figure. Here's a team that's destined to lose 50 games. Go figure. So that's my most disappointing team. As I move on, my MVP, to me, is a three-man race. And I don't think the distance from 1 to 3 is that big. To me, number 3 in the MVP race is Isaiah Thomas. What Isaiah Thomas is doing with the Boston Celtics right now is just phenomenal. I mean, here's a guy who's barely 5'9". Okay? He's the second leading scorer in the NBA at 29 a game. He has the Boston Celtics in second place in the Eastern Conference. He's been playing lately without his starting backcourt mate and Avery Bradley, the defensive player. They did bring over Al Horford. Amir Johnson is an undersized center. Jay Crowder has established himself to be a very valuable player in this league. But it all starts with Isaiah Thomas. He's the game's best closer this year in his fourth quarter with 11 points a game. You take this guy off of Boston, and they're clearly a lottery team. What he's doing is just sensational. Second on our list, to me, is James Harden. At one time, he looked like he was on pace to lead the league in scoring and assists. But what he's doing with the Houston Rockets, having the freedom under Mike D'Antoni to just run this offense and shoot at will and be the playmaker that he can be, he's having a career year and one to remember. One to remember. I did not think Houston would be this much of a factor going into the season. I'm not the biggest D'Antoni fan, and I didn't think Houston was going to be this big of a factor. However, James Harden is the reason for that. He's having a sensational year. And that leads me to number 1. No doubt in my mind, what Westbrook is doing with OKC, with the spotlight on him. And what I mean by the spotlight on him, with Kevin Durant choosing to go to Golden State, everybody who's an NBA fan, whether you like OKC or not, or you like Westbrook or not, you want to see what Westbrook would do Well, before the season started, I said he would be MVP because I felt he was going to come out and want to prove to everybody that he can carry a team and that he is that guy. And he's doing just what I expected him to do, except for I didn't know that at this point in the season, he would have 27 triple-doubles. Let me repeat that. 27 triple-doubles with a team that is offensively challenged. Incredible season. And I don't want to hear that he has to finish 4th or higher in the West. His team got to finish 4th and higher in the West in order to qualify for MVP. If he comes in the 8th spot, the 7th spot, he should be MVP. Because what he's doing with that team, I guarantee you, if you take him off that team and inserted Kevin Durant there, or he was the one that left, this team will not be where it's at. It would not be where it's at. And clearly, if you take them off that roster, they are a lottery team. Listen, Steven Adams is averaging a career best at 12 points a game. That is not because of Steven Adams' offensive ability. That's because of Westbrook giving him the ball where he can do something with it. Andre Robertson is having his finest offensive season of his career. It's not because he went into the gym and put in work. It's because he's getting the ball where it's easier for him to score. That's the ability of Westbrook. Westbrook is making others around him better. Something that did not take place when Durant was there. They had the buddy ball going on. It was you score, I score, you score, you score, I score, I score, I score, I score, you score, you score, I wait for you to pass the ball to me. But Westbrook, the playmaker that he is getting everybody involved. Clearly, at this point in the season, he's the league's MVP. Rookie of the Year, it's a no-brainer. I don't know if he's going to qualify. He's got a lot of DNPs. But Joel Embiid, clearly Rookie of the Year for the Philadelphia 76ers. We waited on this guy for a couple of seasons, and I see why Philly has waited on him. And I see why Philly took the chance to draft him. This guy is going to be special, and the future is going to be bright for him. And if Philly can ever put anything around him and consistently, Philadelphia will have a future. They will no longer dwell at the bottom of the East. In fact, they've had some exciting wins this year. They've been very competitive. I think they've succeeded everyone's expectations at this point in the season. So the future looks bright. Coach Brett Brown over there, he's sticking to a game plan. I'm not sure what their plans are with Okafor, and I'm not quite a fan of how they're handling that situation. But nevertheless, they've won some quality games. They've had some good winning streaks, and in fact, the future just looks extremely bright for Joel Embiid and the 76ers. I would say in 2 years, they'll probably figure it out and be a playoff team. If not next year, if they can get a quality point guard, whether it's through the draft or free agency next year. But they have something to work with. I think we're going to hear from them very soon. Sixth man of the year. You know, you talk about Westbrook not qualifying for MVP if his team doesn't finish 4th or higher in the West. Can someone qualify for sixth man of the year if their team doesn't make the playoff? Well, I want to throw that out the window. Because if you're doing your job as a sixth man, that's all that counts. The award is the sixth man of the year. It's not the sixth man of the year for a playoff team. Well, with that said, my sixth man is Lou Williams. What Lou Williams is doing is phenomenal. He's made for the role. The only other person that challenges him is Jamal Crawford. But Lou Williams is made for the role. I mean, he's the modern era of Vinnie Johnson, the microwave. I mean, all right, if Vinnie Johnson was the microwave, Lou Williams is instant messenger. Because when he gets on the court, his game is instant. It's just instant. He leads all bench players off the bench with 18 points a game. He's leading the Los Angeles Lakers bench. Their bench is still the number one bench scoring bench in the game. I mean, what he's doing is just phenomenal. And I think he will be on the move within the next couple of days. And a team that I think should go after him are the Washington Wizards. I think they can use him coming off the bench. They can have a three-headed guard carousel, similar to what Detroit used to have back in the days. I'm not saying that they're equivalent to it, but what Detroit used to do with Isaiah, Dumars, and Vinnie Johnson, I mean, there was always two of them on the court at one time, and they can do that in Washington between Wall, Bill, and Lou Williams. Lou Williams is a real deal. Guys, he's been sixth man of the year before. Unfortunately, he's with a team that, is not ready to compete. But nevertheless, he's performing admirable. I can't see how he cannot be considered for this award just because his team is not in a playoff. Again, it doesn't say sixth man of the year for a playoff contender. It says sixth man of the year, which means all teams. I look for Lou Williams to be on the move. I look for him to be on the move. And Washington would be a great destination. I tell you what, if the Knicks was in playoff contention, I would love to have Lou Williams there. I really would. Most improved player? Wow. I like the kid Frazier out there in New Orleans. I thought he got off to a good start, playing point guard, filling in for Drew Holiday, and I still think he should get consideration. Not too many people know about him, but the guy I'm going to go with is Otto Porter. Yeah, his contract, and it's great that he's come up big. I think he's top 10 in three-point field goal percentage. The guy's averaging 14.6 a game. Slotted at the small forward position there. He's finally beginning to live up to a little bit of the hype that he had surrounding him coming out of Georgetown. But the guy's playing ball with Bill and Wall making a case that they could be the best backcourt in the game. He's slowly making a case that without his production, this team will not be where it's at. He's a big part of their success and playing extremely well. Extremely well. Otto Porter for most improved player. And this pains me to say for Coach of the Year. It was a point in time where I just thought, how can this guy get another job? He's like the Chip Kelly of an NBA. But he was afforded another opportunity, and he is making the most of his opportunity. He's got the team that fits his game plan, his style, and he's got to be considered Coach of the Year. In my book, I'm a big Brad Stevens fan. I think that Brad Stevens should have got it last year. I think he's in a position to win it this year. But I got to give it to Mike D'Antoni. What he's doing with Houston is phenomenal. The fact that he said to James Harden, come in my office. I want to make you the point guard, our starting point guard, was huge. It changed the fortunes of the Houston Rockets. It changed the fortunes of the Houston Rockets. And James Harden has run with that permission. But it starts with the decision of D'Antoni. And his team is playing good ball. And I don't think they can go to the Western Conference Final. But I don't think you want to play them in the playoffs. Because they're going to run you from the tip-off to the sound of the buzzer. What he's doing is phenomenal as coaching that team. It's an interesting story, but at this point in the league, point in time during the league, I think he's Coach of the Year. And before I close, I just want to end on something. It's not NBA related, but I want to end on a comment that was made that I read by Tony Romo. He said he's inspired. He's inspired by a 39-year-old Tom Brady performance in a Super Bowl. That he can see himself playing on a high level for the next 2-3 years. But more importantly, he said he expects to be released by the Dallas Cowboys. That's huge news right there, folks. That is huge. That is huge. Probably the toughest decision that Jerry Jones will make as an NFL owner. Because he adores that guy, Tony Romo. But Tony Romo expects to be released. So the talk is there. They must have already spoke about it. And where will Tony Romo land? That's the question. Where will Tony Romo land? Could he land in Denver? Could he land in Houston? Would a team like the Jets take a chance at Tony Romo? But one thing is clear. He's not walking away from the game. He feels he's got 2 to 3 good quality years. And I tell you what, if he's 100% healthy, that year off just might have helped him. The year off might have just helped him. Maybe it makes him a little bit younger. We seen Adrian Peterson miss a year, come back, and was MVP. Could it happen for Tony Romo? One thing we know about Romo, he has the talent. Question is, does he have the health? And what team does he go to? There's quite a few teams that can use him. But where does he go? Does he opt for warm weather and goes to San Francisco, even though they're not in a position to win? Does he go to a veteran team such as Denver? Does he try to become the biggest star in the Big Apple and turn around the New York Jets? Does he go to the windy city like Chicago? Do he opt to play on turf indoors in Houston? Where will Tony Romo land? I know he's not going to go somewhere where he's a backup. He's going to go somewhere where he can start. Does he go to Cleveland? Nah, I don't think so. Well, we'll stay tuned. We'll see. But in the meantime, the festivities begin tonight. All-Star Weekend, you have the celebrity game, the rookie game. Tomorrow kicks off the skills challenge, the three-point shot, the slam dunk. So, and then Sunday, you have the All-Star game. I'm going to have to DVR that. Got tickets to the Georgia Tech Syracuse game, so I'm looking forward to that. Syracuse, Orange, let's go. So until tomorrow, 24, peace and blessings. You have a great start to your weekend, and we'll chop it up soon. This is Ramel, chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat.